What's up, everybody? Russell with Thumpr Fishing. Okay, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've just noticed that a lot of people ask me a lot of questions on just simple rigging, on what I like to do, how I like to set things up, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, that's probably one of the most common things I ask other people too, and I can't even count how many little tips and tricks I've learned from just other anglers that I use every single day. So every week or two, I think I'm mission to do a little video on just little things I've done, little projects I do, little upgrades, stuff like that. If you guys find it interesting, definitely hit the thumbs up button, comment, share your thoughts, your ideas, or maybe how you like to do it. Because I would love to hear that too. I'm always down to do upgrades and modify things. I love to do little DIY projects and stuff like that. So in today's video, I'm going to cover one that I've been recently having some questions on, and that is my kayak mats. Now, I bought my Hobie Outback. It's a 2022. I bought it slightly used off of Facebook Marketplace, and I got a super good deal on it. And the guy already had custom mats put in it. I believe it was done by a company called Louisiana Custom Kayaks, and they make some some amazing kayak mats. Actually, you know what? Let's pull up some video of their kayak mats. Check this out. Oh my gosh, it's simply just, it fits all in it perfectly into the spots. When you pull up their website, you can basically pull up your model of kayak, your brand, whether it's an Old Town or a Hobie or a Bonafide, anything. And they have all cut out. Even in the cup holders, it had small little mats that fit in there. Easy application, and I've never had an issue since I've had my kayak. I've had my kayak for almost 3 years now. The guy before me had it in there for about a year. So, it's pushing 4 years or so, and I've zero problems with this mat. I have had blood and fish guts and slime all over these mats. They don't stain. Nothing you can't get out with a good scrubbing. But the only issue I'm having right now is I try and go to their website for you guys to check some prices and get some photographs for you, and their website's not working. So I am not too sure about that. Hopefully by the time, if you guys are interested in getting some of these and you're checking it out, their website's up. I will say they are not the cheapest, but they are custom, and if you want the best look, they basically make these mats, and the design that they put on these mats are made to go with your Pacific kayak, so it looks absolutely sweet. Now, the other option you can do, and the option that I did this time, I tried checking their website out, it was down, and then I said, you know what, maybe I'll just do it myself. So I started looking up boat mats to do it myself. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. Now, I just use this. You can't be putting it on any smooth plastic, any curved areas. It's just, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's just not going to go well, especially with this stuff I got from Amazon. Now, I will put a link to this foam mat that I got. It comes in a big old roll. It's probably got half a dozen colors, and so far I'm liking it. And the only reason why I grabbed this mat is because I wanted to add some extra protection. I wanted to add some foam around the edges of my kayak, not only as for protection, but to keep some of that clanking sound around. And then also over the winter, I saw myself doing a lot of sight fishing standing up, and sometimes in Florida, the sun's still out, it's not plastic, it's hot, and you're standing on there with your feet. It's nice. And for the cost of just, I think it was like 50, 60 something bucks. And I had plenty enough to do all the rails, and then my back end where I put my motor and stuff. And the other nice thing I'm finding with this foam mats is when I'm, mounting up my motor, or I'm grabbing my anchor, or things that were clanking around a little bit more, it's a lot less clanking, when you got those mats. And let's be honest, it just looks nice. So in this video, what I want to do is I just want to discuss a little bit also on how I install these mats, because obviously, you're saving money. It's a little bit cheaper, but it doesn't look as nice because the cuts and the grooves, they're not what would you say, designed to go with your kayak, like Louisiana Custom mats are. And they're not pre-cut like Louisiana Custom mats are, which that's got to be pretty damn nice. But it's all doable. And the way I did it is, in this video, as you're going to see here, is I basically... So I obviously I'm not saying this is the way you have to do it. I'm usually, when I do stuff, I know there's probably a dozen other ways to do it that might have been a little easier. So maybe, if you watch this and you're like, damn, dude, you should have done that. Yeah, obviously. I'm just trying to give you guys ideas, share my thoughts. And like I said, if you guys come up with something that might have been a little bit simpler, definitely drop it in the comments for other people to maybe, use that tip to make the process a little bit even simpler than I made it. But let's get into it. All right. So the first thing I did is I didn't want to deal with any any curved or really smooth plastic areas. So what I did was I focused along the rim of my kayak. It's all flat. It's about on average, I'd say 2 inches thick, and it's a little bit of a rougher plastic. So that adhesive mat's going to stick real nicely there. So what I did is I took some masking tape and I laid the masking tape along the whole area, ran my hand up and down it, and smoothed so it's that flat area. And what I did is I grabbed a marker or a pen or a pencil, and I basically traced out the line. And what you can go there is now cut off all the excess pieces of that masking tape, or just grab it, take the tape. Now you place it on the mat, and I used as kind of like a template. Like I said, there's probably other ways to do this that's maybe a little easier. I don't know. This is just how I did it. So that's what I did. And I basically traced it out, cut it out, and made these little masking tape templates. Then what I did is I would, lay out the foam rolls, and that's at that point, that's when I would take my masking tape and place it on the mat in the position, that I wanted. And I did that to each one. Now, I had a little bit of issues with the masking tape re-sticking or staying into place when I put them on the map. To cut them out, a couple options that you can do is turn the big roll of mat upside down, so your tape is on the smooth, white backing, and at that point you can cut from there if your tape's sticking. If it's not sticking, what you can also do is just trace that. When you put the masking tape on there, you can trace it out. And just remember, when you're cutting, to cut on the inside of your draw line, and that'll work as well. You can also use, a push pin or little pins to push that masking tape into the foam without it going anywhere, and you won't even notice the little push pin pull. But I did fine by just sticking it to the back, and then I traced it out with a black permanent marker. And then I just told myself, as I was cutting it with some really nice scissors, to cut on the inside of the line. And as you can see, it came out looking pretty darn good. I like the way it looked out. Is it as nice as the Louisiana Custom mats that I have on the inside? No, but I don't do this every single day. And like I said, the whole thing cost me, $50-$60 and maybe an hour or two of time. So I'll take it, and I've got plenty more mats, extra mats from the roll. to redo pieces, or if something happens. Now, I have gone on a couple trips with this already, and I have been in the Florida heat with a heat index of upwards of over 100, and I have not had any issues there with it. But I did have an issue on the very, very back of my Hobie Outback. Has a thinner plastic in the back, kind of near the rudder on the top, and I did put a piece of foam across there. What I did find is the other day when it was really hot out and I was heading home, that the wind, as I'm driving, catching the back of that mat and the lip, that basically started to lift up. And then once it lifted up a little bit, that kind of created a sail. So by the time I got home, I had about half of that mat peeling off. So what I did is I basically, before I pushed it back down, I took some marine grade adhesive, just slightly put that along the edges, and then put that back down. And I have not had an issue with it since then. And I've been taking it on the highway and no issues. So far so good. Like I said, it's just one of those little projects that is real simple to do. It makes your kayak look a little bit more custom. It adds some protection to your kayak as well. When you do it yourself, you honestly can kind of try and put it anywhere, and you're not paying a couple $100 to have someone else do it. So that's definitely an option. Now, if you guys are out there and you just don't got time for DIY, you're just looking for that quick fix, or you want your kayak to look just straight bombing, then definitely check out some of these companies that make the custom kayak mats already pre-cut and everything, because those look nice, but they're not going to be cheap either. Like I said, mine is Louisiana Customs. And then the rest of the mat, obviously, I did it myself. Now, I will put a link in the description. It's my Amazon affiliate link to the mats that I bought. You can follow that link, click on that. You can pick the length of the roll that you want, the color that you want, and on sale. So it's another way to just help out the channel, but also get something for yourself. So those are always appreciated. So definitely check the description for the Amazon affiliate link if you want to try it out. And if not, I will catch you in the next one, because I'm going to try and do these little videos where I just go over just little things I'm doing, and not just to share those with you and give you guys ideas, but a lot of times I get a lot of feedback of people saying, hey, well, instead of doing that, here's what I do. And I kind of upgrade my tips and tricks, because if you're not learning stuff from people, you're doing something wrong. Everybody has something to teach you. Always have open ears, always listen, especially in, fishing. I can't even tell you. I would say 90% of everything I know and everything I do is from listening to other people and learning the little tips and tricks that they've learned the hard way. Because let's be honest, I learn things the hard way all the time. That's how I learn. So learning from other people that have already done it definitely saves me a little bit of grief. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, simple, easy to do. And it looks pretty nice. So anyway, I'm going to go get my gear ready, because I'm thinking about going fishing tomorrow. So I will catch you in the next video, and we will be out on the water. Tight lines, everybody. Peace.